BlazeBodyz, what's up, everyone? Well, I thought it was fitting. It was time again for another funny story. I'm not going to do anything like the stupid shit kids do stories as I was, because those were involving my dad. And I still have a few of those to tell. But as a kid, I did a lot of not only reckless, crazy stuff, but in regards to, you could say, health and fitness, because I was, from a very, very young age, a very physically active kid. I mean, I was going to work with my dad since the age of 5, like slinging blocks and bricks and mixing cement, things like that. I was always running, sometimes 10, 12 miles a day. I put like 3 pairs of sweatpants on and 3 sweatshirts and a hood and go running for like 10 or 12 miles, sometimes with dumbbells in my hands. Stupid, crazy shit like that. I was always on a bike, always on a pedal bike. I just loved the way that felt. I turned the handlebars upside down. I keep it in 5th gear, no matter how big the hill, and I just love that feeling. So I got a funny story in regards to that. I think I was about 11, or no, I'm gonna say 13, 14 years old ish. And my like I said, I was always on a bike. The 10 speed that I won in the fire prevention poster contest. I talked about that before. I used to ride that thing everywhere. But my brother had a little huffy beat up bike that he would, putz around Methuen with. And, it had the big fat seat, said Huffy on it. And, you get on it, and you got to pedal about 50 times before you even move a foot. So one day I got the bright idea of skipping school. And I know you're not surprised about that. And I said to myself, it was a nice hot summer day. It was early. I think it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I decided to skip school. And I decided I'm going to ride my brother's Huffy bike to the beach from Methuen. At the time, I didn't know the mileage. I didn't know the exact mileage. Back then, we didn't have computers, so we didn't have MapQuest, and we certainly didn't have cell phones with GPS. But I was determined. When I got something in my head, even back then, I was not going to back down. Now, in addition to the crazy idea of riding that freaking little bike to the beach, I told myself I was not going to get off the bike at all until I hit the beach. And I stuck to that as hard as I could. So again, I don't even know how I knew how to go. I think I remembered through memory from going to the beach with people, friends back then who had a license. I don't know how I knew the routes, but it was the back roads basically. You had to go through Haverhill, took you all the way into Amesbury, Merrimack, and the back roads into the beach. So I get going. Now it was expected to be about 100 degrees that day. I didn't have any water. I didn't have any food. I wasn't a nutbag like I am now with making all my meals and all my vitamins and minerals on craziness. Nope. I said, fuck it. I'm going to jump on this bike and I'm going to ride it to the beach, and I'm not getting off the fucking thing until I get there. So I get to about Haverhill now. And no, that's only not even a third of the way. And oh my God, I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? Holy shit. So I'm pedaling, and now I had strong legs back then, because I was always running or on a 10-speed bike, but you had to pedal a million times just to go a little bit. So I'm like, what did I get myself into? So I'm chugging along. I just put my mind into it, and I just kept going. I got through Amesbury, and I was like, oh my God, what? I don't know. And then in my head, I'm like, if I turn around, it's just going to be just as bad. So just fuck it. Just see it through. So long story short, I got right to Salisbury, where all the way to the center, back then they had the Rotary. It's still kind of there now, but Salisbury sucks now. It's all condos and fucking strip clubs. It's horrible. It's not Salisbury anymore. But back then, you had the rides, you had tons of people. In the middle, there was picnic tables and chairs. So it took me about over 3.5 hours to get there. In the hot sun, no food, no water. And I get to the middle, I put the bike down, I sit in the picnic table chair in the middle with cars whizzing by and going by and beeping their horns. And I was like, yeah, I don't fucking even know who they were. I got no shirt on. I had long hair halfway down my back. It looked like Conan. And I said, and I sat there for about 20 minutes. And I said, well, I gotta go back. So I get back on that fucking bike. And here we go again. We got to go all the way back. Now, by the way, I did check, and it turns out it's about 30 miles from Forest Street in Methuen until Salisbury Center. 30 miles one way. So here I go. I got to go another 30 miles now in the hot sun. No food, no water, completely dehydrated, wiped out. And I made it all the way back. I don't know how the F I did it. But I got to about around where the Methuen Mall was at the time. And back then, Man Orchards had the apple trees with a big fence on the side, off the side of the road, big fence. All you could see was the apple orchards. And I pulled that bike over into the ditch. I jumped that fucking fence. And I went in and grabbed about 4 huge, beautiful apples. And I hopped back over to the side of the fence and sat on the side of the road and ate those fucking apples. And nothing tasted better than that. Nothing in my life at that point had tasted better than that. I ate them all. I fucking got back on my fucking bike and I pedaled my way a million revolutions every single thing all the way back to Methuen, and I just fucking got home and I collapsed. So that's just another story of perseverance and determination if you want to use it to that regard. But when you set your mind to something, you should commit 110%. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you see it through. Whether you fail or you succeed, you go the distance. You don't quit. Never quit. If you quit, you're quitting on yourself. You're the one that's going to lose. All right? That's all I got today. I got way more of those. I got to go. It's sucky outside again. That's okay. It's Monday, and we got people to train. So I'll talk to you guys all later. Keep fighting on.